eyes. He's the voice of the people making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Try to silence the truth, but he's loud and clear. From the bayou to the block, everyone can hear. Got the people united, it's a movement, no doubt. With his mic in hand, he's breaking all the clout. City eat the official scheming, yeah, they playing it slick. But Gerod's on the line and he's ready to kick. For the schools and the streets, he's fighting the fight. With a heart full of passion, he's igniting the night. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies. Bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. From the jazz in the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. In the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies. Bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, tuning out, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies. Bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it loud, let's uplift this place.
Yeah. You wanted me to sing, yeah. What?
Thank God the song is ending.
I don't know why we put up with him. I have not figured that out as of yet. Oh, you got us live?
Yeah.
Oh, good afternoon. Good afternoon, New Orleans.
You know I do that kind of stuff.
What's
Well, we
going
really
on?
appreciate it. Look, nothing much. Been busy. New start, new year. Spent my morning in court in
That's
Orleans
right. This
Parish.
is your first time this year, huh?
Yep. Happy New Year to the people.
Woo.
Yeah. Court this morning, Orleans Parish. Mediation and settlement negotiations in Hard Rock, which are going extremely well. And now I'm here with you on the radio.
Boy, your day has really gone down, hasn't it?
No, my day has gone up. This is my favorite part of my Friday. You know that. I enjoy being here.
So, what did y'all do for the new year?
We brought in a quiet new year. We had Jessica's intended in-laws for the entire Christmas to New Year holiday. So we just brought in a quiet new year at the house.
It was good?
It was good. It was good.
Jessica!
That's the bride-to-be, So we have a baby coming in April and a wedding in March.
Wow.
So we're off to a great start for the new year.
Y'all making the family. And it's a boy.
And it's a boy. That's right. So the youngest daughter is having a boy in April, and the middle daughter is getting married in March. So I'm going to have a very busy spring.
That's right. Are we ready for the new administration to take over?
Yeah, I think we're ready. I think we're ready. I really do wish them the best. I really do hope that they get a full understanding of the fiscal responsibility they have. I hope they are very transparent and open and honest as they communicate the challenges that they face upon taking office. And I think we all need to be kind of ready for a change. She did lay out her priorities for the first 100 days. And look, she's got a lot to tackle. So I'm hopeful that they will do a good job.
This money thing still scares me, though.
Oh, it should scare her. I don't know how she's sleeping at night with the challenges that they're going to face taking office. But at this point, let's see how it goes. Let's give them a chance to roll out their agenda, put their people in place, and give us the roadmap for what this administration intends to do.
Now, I'm not totally convinced with the, I guess more so than anything, some of the decisions that's made, some of the people that's getting ready to be put in place. I did write a commentary about it. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but there's some things that make me question some of the intent. Is it because of folks that know what they're doing, or because they were associated with other administrations? Now, with that being said, I do say that if I'm getting ready to take over as someone with a new administration, maybe new ideas, I think it's in their right that they let some folks go.
I don't think she has a choice. I think any incoming mayor is going to want to surround herself with the people that she thinks are best to fulfill certain roles. Mm-hmm. And look, if we're totally honest about it, there were people who were in roles in the last administration
that should not have been there.
Should not have been there in the first place.
Right.
I mean, there is no way our mayor should have been taking advice from attorneys who couldn't even keep their own license.
Right.
Okay. I mean, there were problems in some of that administration. So I'm hoping that they are taking their time and they are selecting the best and the brightest of New Orleanians. That I want to make that very clear. Mm-hmm. Don't go looking outside our state, of New Orleanians who understand our culture, who can focus on public safety, economic development, infrastructure, housing, permitting, services, for New Orleans East, all of these things. So I'm hoping they're taking their time, they're vetting carefully, and they're putting people in place who are willing and able to do the job.
So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm not totally convinced, because I'm hearing of some folks that's got some positions that made me go, how they get in? And then people that have been there forever and a day that know the work.
I wasn't thrilled with some of the transition team appointments. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think a lot of the transition team appointments were political donors. They were people who gave heavily to her campaign and not necessarily the best and the brightest for positions. But now we've gone from transition to now we're going into hiring people for key positions.
But a lot of the folks that she has already, these are Mitch Landrieu people. Mitch Landrieu has his stamp all over this.
That may be true, but some of the people in the Landrieu administration were effective. Some were not. I think that's true of every administration.
But here we go again with using the concept of deputy mayors.
I don't care what the title is. Do the job.
But I got a problem with it because of the fact that we like using situations to say, hey, this is why I need to give this person this amount of money. And I think timing is wrong when you are telling people in the same breath that I'm going to furlough and let some folks go. And these are folks mostly that are the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 folks. And yet you're telling them I'm going to have to let some of y'all go. I'm going to have to put a lot of you all on furlough. But yet I'm telling you, my team, I'm giving you 200, I'm giving you 300, I'm giving you 250. You're making over $200,000. The timing is now. If they're the leader of that department and they have a big job to do, I understand. but you're timing wrong when you're telling me that we are $160 million in the hole, and you're telling me you're going to furlough people or let some folks go, and yet I'm still going to give you this amount of money.
Look, the budget realities are staring them in the face. They're glaring. Some people were going to have to be cut. There was no getting around that. I don't care who the mayor is, okay? We are in the hole, and some very difficult financial decisions are going to have to be made. I think we all need to acknowledge that reality. Who is getting let go? Well, I'd have to look at it position by position, department by department to evaluate the effectiveness of all of these employees. Hopefully, like any other business, they've kept good records on productivity of employees. They've done employee reviews. Hopefully, they have a good handle on who was being productive, who was doing their job, who was not, what departments were functioning well, what departments need to be upgraded. Hopefully, they have a good handle on that. They should, because they were in administration as well. Okay, this is not like outsiders coming in. They were a part of the process. So they should know some of these things. Hopefully, they're making quality decisions when it comes to who stays and who goes. And we're about to find that out, because now there's no blaming, Mayor Cantrell. Okay,
it will
you've
be.
got it.
Oh,
You're
no.
in charge now.
Oh, no.
Let's see what you do with it. But it's a horrible political climate to be in leadership. The national agenda is trickling down. The state agenda is trickling down. It's a horrible time to be in leadership, to be quite honest. So let's see what they bring to the table.
I mean, Red Bottoms did it yesterday.
Did what yesterday?
Started talking bad about Cantrell.
Look, they're going to continue to try to make her the boogeyman, just like Trump wants to make
Exactly.
Biden the boogeyman.
She's
They're going to
still gonna be
continue
the
to blame
boogeyman.
her, but stop with that.
Yep.
Stop with that. She's no longer in office. I don't agree with everything that Mayor Cantrell did. I've been a very outspoken person on this radio station about what I thought she did right and what I thought she did wrong. But now the truth of the matter is she is gone. It is now all falling squarely in your lap, Mayor Moreno. And now we're waiting to see what you do, what your administration can accomplish, given the difficulties and the constraints that you are about to face.
Do you think that one of the things I would say too is that those folks that are in office, I do believe this, and I want to make that's why I said I don't want to be completely Debbie Downer. I think that sometimes you do have to clean house.
You do.
Because you don't want to say, okay, I'm gonna keep this person because they know what they're doing, but yet they end up being the person that is ends up being the Debbie Downer of your whole department, your administration.
Look, I think it's important for a new administration to come in and hire people who are aligned with their goals, their policies, their agenda, their way of doing things. Just because somebody did something well under the prior administration to implement the priorities of that prior mayor doesn't make them a good candidate to work for this particular mayor and this particular administration. Now, one of the things I have to say that she has going for her that LaToya Cantrell did not is she has a very cooperative, in her pocket city council. Okay? Unfortunately, I don't think Mayor Cantrell ever had the benefit of a city council that had her back. Okay? Not fully.
Maybe just a
few members,
right.
but she never had a full council that had her back and was willing to support her and her missions, her goals. That's part of the reason that some of her initiatives were not successful. That's part of the reason she got frustrated. At some point, they went from just not being supportive of her to laser focusing upon her to bring her down. This particular mayor, Moreno, does not have that problem. She is walking into a situation where they are walking hand in hand singing Kumbaya. So given that she has Kumbaya. So given that she has a city council that's willing to work hands in hand with her, I think she has a better chance of getting her initiatives and her platform off the ground. So let's see how long that symbiotic Kumbaya relationship stays in place. If it does, then it should help her to be more successful. So I, for one, as a New Orleanian, am looking forward to not having the infighting between the mayor and the city council. Maybe if they're not fighting and they're not investigating one another, they can get about the business of the citizens of New Orleans.
So, question. Now is the honeymoon.
Now is the honeymoon period.
So you don't think it's going to change?
I don't think it's going to change because of the relationships that we have already explored on this show and we have already brought out. Okay, you have people on this particular city council who are the godparents of other city council members.
Right.
You know, they have relationships that are outside of the profession, personal and professional relationships. So I don't think they're going to fall apart. I don't think they're going to have beef like they did with Mayor Cantrell. You know, and then I got to be honest, there are many in the black community who are going to say that she's going to have a better relationship because it was easy to target the black woman and not to support the black woman. Okay. So, you know, that certain priorities were based upon the mayor's race, and the way they came at her was based upon the mayor's race. You know, that is going to be sad. But here we do have a better relationship starting off between the mayor and the council. And what I'm praying for is that can put them all in a position to get better results for the citizens of New Orleans, since they are not infighting.
Yeah. All right, Michael.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I don't know the young lady you're talking to, Mr. Gerard, but I'll say something. I'll say something.
You what?
Helena Moreno, I think y'all new elect mayor. I don't know if she's done her all, whatever. She's been sworn in, but the beef I have with her is that when Hillary Clinton lost the election, she lost her career because she was going to be the next press spokesman for the new regime of Hillary Clinton. But hey, it didn't go over well. I give her heart for staying in New Orleans over all this time, but she was about to dig out of here as quick as she can and run to Washington, D.C., and be a press secretary or whatever she wanted to do.
Was that Hillary, or were you talking about Kamala?
No, I think he's talking about Moreno. He's
Hillary
talking about
Clinton.
Moreno.
Yeah, but it wasn't with Hillary. It was with Kamala.
It was with Kamala Harris.
No. It was when Hillary lost. Hillary Clinton, you know.
Who wouldn't do that? If I had an opportunity, even with a successful law practice, to go work in D.C. for the first sitting female American president, I guarantee you I'd be on the first plane out.
Ain't that what Cedric did?
Right. Because even with that position, I would be able to better the position of my home state,
right,
of my city, of my community.
So Cedric
on a
left
national
his
agenda.
position as a congressman to be the first seat to Biden.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But look at everybody else who's been mayor of New Orleans. Where do they run to? Okay,
That's where
They
Mitch
run to
Landry
DC.
ran to, because he ended up being the czar after he left as mayor.
I have no problem with
for
somebody, you know, who has made a career in local politics, taking
and run away
the
from the state
promotion
of Louisiana like everybody else is doing.
and taking the promotion. Well, look, you saying run away, but I
Run
think
away.
that when Cedric Richmond was in D.C. working for the Biden administration, he was able to bring a lot back for the people of Louisiana and the citizens
Not
of
in
New
the
Orleans.
East. Didn't Cedric Richmond come out the East?
Did he come out of the East?
East New Orleans?
He lived in New Orleans East.
But
Yes, he did.
Okay, but what he brought back?
He brought a lot back during the time that he worked as a U.S. congressman,
please.
and also during the time that he worked with the Biden administration. The relationships that Cedric Richmond made alone were able to help us move and shake. You know, those relationships
Move and
were
shake
very
what?
helpful.
Move and shake what? But look, I digress. I don't have a lot of time, but I used to work for the whatever. I was brought in from the outside, okay, into an administration. My marching orders when I came from the outside was to clean house. That was my marching orders. I'm not going to say what division of city politics I worked in. I won't say what department I worked in, but my marching orders was to clean house because they have a lot of loaves of bread that are out there in city government New Orleans spending money on church flyers, printing paper, okay? I've seen it all, okay? I've been to so many civil service hearings. But hey, Katrina happened. I had to quit. I had to, whatever the case is. But I've seen it. So there's a lot of those. Would you say those $40,000 to $50,000 jobs? They did nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Well, I think that justifies then the position that Helena Moreno is taking, which is what we began the show talking about, the fact that one of the priorities of any new administration is to come in and to determine who's staying, who's going, who's going to be effective, and who's not, either based on past performance.
With these police officers that have struggled, I don't know, fire department, I don't really, but the police officers that are in New Orleans with crime, I think, going down. I'm not wrong. I'm outside looking in, but I'm always there. They deserve that $10,000 bonus that they should get right now, immediately.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody on this show would disagree with you about that.
That's why we found the amendment that they were saying that they couldn't find, and we read it on the air. So they'll know because all of their names are on the amendment.
Deficit. You can't do like this current regime, that the fascist regime, and spending money like it, and wanting to boost budgets of ICE, who's only been there for 26 years since 9/11, and boosting their budget. Cut all that. I understand where she's coming from, but the only thing I don't like y'all mayor about right now, y'all new mayor, is that she has bigger hopes. And it is not, to my knowledge, that it has New Orleans in her best interest. It's a stepping stone.
So you would rather have someone come to work in the city of New Orleans as the mayor with no dream or aspiration to do anything above being the mayor of the city of New Orleans, albeit a noble job. You want someone with no dreams, no aspiration, and no drive.
New Orleans will stay in New Orleans.
Oh, really?
And do what after they leave office?
And do what? Be a part of New Orleans. Be living in New Orleans. Be a breath of fresh air versus everybody else who runs out of New Orleans as soon as they finish their terms.
So, Michael, you told me that at one point in time that you came in and you were brought in, and you're not telling me what department or what agency, whatever, right?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, so that's not important. But it's apparent to me, as I not only look at your number, but what you've said to me in the past couple of days, you left.
I left. Yes, I did.
So
they
what's
called
the
me
difference
back to my
between
job,
what you did?
but I had nowhere to live.
But
so
what's the difference?
I had to make a decision.
I understand that. Well, what's the difference in what you did and what somebody else did?
Because of the event. Because I had nowhere to go.
You told me that you come
and
back
then
here
with
and you
my
stay.
talents, and I am a very talented person, I might add. They recognized my talents and paid me accordingly for the talents I had that I was not receiving in the city of New Orleans.
Now.
I just don't think those are fair expectations for any mayor. No elected official, man or woman, should be required to abandon ambition. Excuse me, just let me finish if you could. Should be required to abandon ambition as proof of loyalty. What the people of New Orleans are entitled to is not a vow of political celibacy, but competent, present, and accountable leadership while they hold the office. Now, if they decide that based upon their experience here, they may be able to help us even on a greater level nationally, I say go for it. Because anything that you do here or away that benefits our town, I'm willing to stick with.
Let me give you a good example. Mark L'Oreal.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing great work at the Urban League with a national agenda that benefits Black America.
You think he is?
Yeah, I know he is. I know he is.
And where he lives now?
He lives between New Orleans and New York.
Oh, please. They had the biggest wedding on earth in New Orleans some time ago. The biggest wedding.
All right. All
I
right,
mean, it was like
we're gonna let
next
that
to,
brew today because we're not gonna get anywhere with this conversation. But Mike, thanks for the
okay,
call. Have
thank
a
you
good
very
weekend.
much.
All right, we got more coming up, y'all. Everybody will take.
Hey, this is Dave Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Life Care provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. It's Friday, so you know she in the building. The one, the only, Suzette Bagnaris from the Bagnaris Law Firm. Woo, woo, woo.
A woman with a lot of ambition and drive.
You got a lot of ambition.
I guess that's supposed to be a negative thing. I didn't know that.
Why did he poke the bulldog?
Huh?
Why did he
I
poke the
don't know.
bulldog?
I don't know.
He poked her.
I mean, I don't understand that, you have to take an endless vow of loyalty when you become the mayor of the city of New Orleans. You should have no aspirations to ever seek higher office. That's a new one on me. I guess the question is she doing the job that we elected her to do while she holds the office? That's what matters to me. And if she should go on to represent us at a higher level, kudos to her. Because having served as the mayor, she'll know our needs. And she'll be able to communicate them. So I don't know why it's a problem.
Why did you ask that question?
Well, it was brought up. It was brought up. Wasn't even my topic today.
just trying
I
to
wanted to talk about Turning Point USA, but here we are. We're talking about this, so let's go.
You see, you have to sit next to her. I'm safe with the glass.
I know what you got there. Why you poking the bell? No. Shut up. Mr. Galman.
Mr. G, how you doing today?
Oh, I was all right. I was.
I have completed my comprehensive investigation of the affordable health care plan that's going on in D.C.
What is today?
Well, let me say this. Under the affordable health care plan, in expanded Medicaid, over 37 jobs will be lost in Louisiana. And a large number of those jobs today is occupied by African Americans. That's what we should be talking about instead of having Negro conversations. When Barack Obama presented that affordable health care plan, I worked to educate blacks about that affordable health care plan. I sold insurance for over 22 years. Some of the insurance I sold was health care insurance. Prior to the Affordable Health Care Act, 38% of black women in Louisiana had no health insurance. 20% of white women had no health insurance. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about infant mortality rates. For black women, 14% infant mortality rates. For every 1,000 black babies born, 14% die because the mother couldn't get the proper prenatal care. For white women, it was 6 to 8%. See, what these insurance companies want to do, want to go back and selling people junk policies. Now, let me describe what a junk policy is. High deductibles, $200 or $300 deductible before you get any treatment. Low room rates and short stays. I'm going to sell you a policy for $100 a day. I don't think of no hospital in Louisiana that you go in and spend 24 hours for $100 a day. Low income rates, short stay. Low limits for surgery. Exclusion for pre-existing condition, diabetes, high blood pressure. That's exclusion. Exclusion for pain medicine. I played ball in high school and college, and my doctor wrote me a prescription for Oxycontin. I went over to Walgreens pharmacy right on Crowder Boulevard in Lake Forest. They wanted to sell me 40 pills for $140. I wasn't going to pay that. I got a surgery on my knee. Exclusion for pain medicine. I mentioned that. No down coverage in case you was involved in a car accident and got your teeth knocked out. See, we got to understand what's going on in Louisiana. They want to go out here selling you these junk policies. I want you to write these numbers down. They was hard for me to get. On the Affordable Health Care Plan, we had 860,000 uninsured people get insurance for the first time in their life. Mm-hmm. Under the Medicare expansion, 340,000 in Louisiana. That's over 1 million people in Aberdeen, Alabama. So the news media in this city and state is not talking about this. For example, they got this little boy out of the 1st Congressional District, Mike Johnson, to bring back this so-called attack on the Affordable Health Care Plan. You're talking about the Speaker? That's Congressional District 4. Mm-hmm. That runs from Shreveport, Louisiana, down to Lafayette boundaries. In fact, that's a gerrymandered district. Elongated district is a gerrymandered district. But somehow the Lutheran Legislative Black Caucus, they can't see that because they got no background in civil rights and human rights. Okay? We got to be very careful about Louisiana. They lied to you about the population in this state. Whites only make up 52% of the population.
So, Mr. Galvin,
African Americans make up
we probably are going to
33%.
do a whole show on this probably next week at some point in time. And the reason why is because, they voted yesterday in
U.S. Congress, not in the Senate, in the U.S. Congress.
And it passed. So now it has to go to the Senate. So the question is, will it pass in the Senate to bring back?
Now you're talking.
So we do know that. So I can't keep giving out those numbers like you do. And the only reason why is because I want to see how many folks are going to pick up the phone and call their senator and tell them to vote for it.
Nah. What you got? What you got in Louisiana? Cassidy and this clown crossover here in St. Tammany Parish.
And you also got your Speaker of the House.
Cassidy.
You got Cassidy?
Cassidy is the U.S. Senator, and also Cassidy and the guy from over there in St. Tammany Parish.
Mm-hmm. Steve Scalise.
Okay?
Yeah, all of them.
That's right. So what I'm saying to you, we should be on the fall calling of this office now and talking about things that happened a year ago.
All right. So what I'll do is, before we get off the air today, I'll give out the telephone numbers.
Okay, man, I'll be glad you do that because you're talking about 37,000 people will lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite sure that you know that a large number of African Americans work at Oshner Hospital. I parked my car for about 15 minutes watching blacks go into the hospital on the morning shift. They will lose their jobs. I haven't heard anything from the Black Caucus. I haven't heard anything from the city council. I haven't heard anything from the Orleans Parish School Board. I think our black elected officials in this state don't know how they got elected. I cannot name one can show you any document or any biography that was involved in the civil rights movement.
All right.
So we got too many black folks in this city are suffering from Negro amnesia. You forgot how you got your position. And I talked with Jeff Thomas. He asked me to keep you informed about this issue.
Mm-hmm. Tell Jeff I said
this is very serious. 37,000 jobs in Louisiana is at stake, and we have not heard anything from our black caucus. What's going to happen to those 37,000 people if they don't renew the Affordable Health Care Plan and Medicare expansion? Do you know what's going to happen to them?
They're not going to have insurance, and they're going to die.
Thank you.
So,
and if you don't get it on BOK, what did I say? You're not going to get it.
yeah. So we'll do that Monday. How about that?
That'll be fine.
All right. What I'll do is I give out the numbers for the.
Give out the number for Cassidy and the guy Kennedy.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do
you
that
know,
today.
He's on there acting like a clown.
We'll do that today.
Let me say this, the last thing I'm going to say this, and I'll be ready to go. I've been doing research on Mike Johnson's district, Congressional District 4, that runs from Caddo Parish down to Lafayette. Almost 40% of the people in this district are getting affordable health care or Medicaid expansion. Mm-hmm. And yet he's out here leading a fight to get rid of the affordable health care plan.
Yep,
but he don't get no bad press in Louisiana because the news media, they don't care. They're looking for advertisers from these insurance companies that's selling all these junk policies.
Well, and sometimes you got to remember something, Mr. Galman. You don't have to be a Negro to have Negro amnesia.
I didn't know I was having a Negro conversation until he called in.
This was a Negro conversation, so you don't have to have.
All right, so we African American, we're not Negro.
Oh, okay. All right, there we
have
go.
A great day, Dr. G.
All right, Mr. Galman. Talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.
Does anybody else have a topic that you'd like to call in with right now? Because clearly we have no topic on this show, and we're just sitting here having Negro conversations. So we're going to wait for another caller to give us another topic?
No, because they will do it. They will do it. No. Let's go back to what you were talking about. What were you talking about?
You see, we don't even know what I was talking about. When I came here today, I did want to talk about a very important topic, but then we ended up talking about other things. But I did, many years ago, I came on the show and I started talking about Project 2025 and how I thought it was going to become a national agenda, how I thought it was going to be embraced by the Republican Party, how I thought it was going to be embraced by the Trump administration, and the impact that I thought it was going to have upon the Black agenda nationally and in the state of Louisiana, the city of New Orleans. And lo and behold, here we are. Today, I kind of wanted to talk about Turning Point USA and how it is being used to grow the Republican Party, how it is being used to strategize an anti-Black agenda. I wanted to talk about how, today, we're talking about, political movements grow power, but man, there is a political movement growing power underfoot. For conservatives in this country right now, it is a political infrastructure conservative machine.
And they're growing.
And I don't think we're watching it. And I don't think we realize the impact that it's going to have on us. What is Turning Point USA? Well, it was founded in 2012 by Charlie Kirk. It is originally focused on college campuses, but now it's expanded into high schools, churches, influencers in the media, minority outreach initiatives. Turning Point doesn't wait for voters to show up and join. They manufacture engagement early. It's early indoctrination of teenagers and young adults. It's simple messaging, freedom, anti-woke, anti-elite. It's strong social media presence, and it's a training ground for activists.
Because they're going for the young kids.
They
are not for the older folks. They are going after the college students.
They're going at high school. They're starting in a high school. So Turning Point USA, like I said, now by 2025, they have 2,000 college and high school campuses nationwide, and they are rapidly scaling up. After the death of Charlie Kirk, the group says it has tens of thousands of new chapter inquiries. and some reporting 62,000 to 130,000 students wanting to join or start chapters of this. And one of the things that they do is, they are raising funds like mad. Turning Point USA's revenue soared from $79,000 in its first year to tens of millions of dollars annually by the early 2020s. And now they're saying that they have 80 million, some odd dollars in a war chest just from this year. And now they have $389 million they've raised from 2012 to 2023. That is a lot of money. Okay. So we need to watch this, and we need to watch it very carefully, because one of their core mission statements is that they focus on promoting, quote unquote, patriotism and traditional American founding values. Now, by founding values, they're criticizing diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. They're opposing movements like Black Lives Matter. They're challenging how topics like race, gender, and U.S. history are taught in schools. This has become an anti-Black, anti-woke agenda, and it is really growing at a rapid rate. And if we don't form some sort of counter-organization that's also talking to students and reaching them at the high school level, the college level, raising money like this, getting people to join an anti-conservative movement, we're going to see that we're going to get wiped out. And our agenda is going to be really detrimentally impacted.
We need to start worrying about what the next line dance is.
Oh, absolutely. Look, this is just like I warned y'all about Project 2025 in 2022 and 2023.
I remember when you talked about it.
Right. I'm warning you about this now. This Turning Point USA agenda at a glance is detrimental to the African American community.
Basically, they're just indoctrinating new KKK members.
It's very, very conservative, and it is founding father agenda. Now, if we remember the founding father agenda, we were slaves.
So I want to throw this in here because one of the things I want to bring up, and you can see what I'm looking at. I'm not going to say about who it is yet.
Right.
Not yet.
That's a Project 2025 author.
Absolutely. Who is now inserting himself in Orleans politics. Closer than a lot of us. I'm not going to say who it is yet because I need to make sure I do some more research before I put that out there. But this part here, when we start getting the background of legislative committees, because we think all this is happening on the street. This is happening with the guys with the suits and the ties on.
It's infiltrating our own city hall administration.
There you go.
So there is someone who is being placed in a key position in this administration, who was placed in a key position in transition. That was shocking to me because of the close ties to Governor Landry, because of the close ties to Steve Scalise, because of the intimate work on Project 2025, writing a lot of these anti-Black, anti-woke, legislation here in Louisiana and nationally. This person now is being appointed by the current administration. We need to watch this. This is not just happening on a national level. It's happening on a state level here, and now it's happening in the city of New Orleans.
And we know it. And if you and I know it, they're not hiding it. It's in everybody's face, but nobody's saying nothing.
Right.
It's hitting you in the face, and nobody's saying a word. Say it.
That's because they keep pacifying us with second lines and all.
No. Let's change that rhetoric for a minute. It ain't the fact that they pacifying us. It's the fact that we know it. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about we know it. They're the ones that's putting it. They're not the ones. We're the ones that's putting them in place.
I just wanted to comment on what Counselor was talking about. It seems like now the Charlie Kirk movement is in full esteem at schools, but yet they're trying to take out Black history books.
They've already
Black
done it.
History. But you see, we need to wake up.
Absolutely.
We really need to see that there is. I was looking on social media and ran across something to whereas these folks are actually training for a civil war.
Look, No longer can they discuss things like slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, voter suppression, segregation in education. None of that can be discussed in public schools throughout the country. Additionally, college curriculum is changing to where you can't discuss anything related to DEI or any of these other things. There are buzzwords that are being given to professors at college saying, these are the words you have to avoid. You cannot talk about these things. My daughter is a professor at the University of Houston, and she was called in. She's a professor in the social work department and told, these are a list of words you cannot talk about. You need to change your syllabus. You can't teach about this and you can't teach about that. All of these things are being thrown out the way while they are indoctrinating in high schools and in college on the founding fathers agenda. So we can't talk about Black history. We can't talk about our contributions to America, but now they can talk about the founding fathers and what the founding fathers agenda was. And the founding fathers excluded Black people as full citizens. So, we need to wake up and we need to see what is happening here and how these people are now infiltrating key positions in predominantly Black cities. Democratic cities.
I wonder how the Black people that supported this new mayor, how they gonna explain that?
How are they gonna
have a good
explain
weekend?
that?
All right, Cher. Thank you, brother. More coming up, y'all. We got to take a break.
My name is Armand Gillespie.
And this is Philip Thomas.
And we are the Bald Online Podcast, where we cover all the major sports topics. But today, we come to you all to talk about a more serious topic.
Suicide prevention. A little less than a week ago, a young, talented football player named Marshawn Nealon took his life after scoring his first NFL touchdown.
We stress the importance of life and how precious every person is. We on Bald Online Podcast hope if you're ever going through anything, to please reach out to a loved one.
And if you think you have no one to turn to, please call 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Remember, you are loved and cherished in every possible way.
Peace and always love from us. And remember, Ball don't lie. Peace.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite. So I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funny story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
From the East Bank to the West Bank, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, right back at you. That's what we do. We get right back at you. It's Friday, so you know she in the building, y'all. The attorney extraordinaire. That is Suzette Bagnaris. And Reverend Wallace, you on line one. What you say?
Hey, my brother, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
How you doing, Miss Bagnaris?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I was so pleased to hear you explain all of your games we had since 1900 or whatever. We done lost all of that.
Oh, we're definitely losing gains day by day, and it's going to get worse because the young minds that will run the country in the future are being framed with an anti-Black agenda.
Well, Ms. Bagnaris, can I ask you one simple question? How is it that we can come out and put a feast on for Dr. King's holiday and sing and march and have all this stuff going for Dr. King, and we can't even discuss what he did in school.
It seems like a double standard to me that we can't discuss Dr. King, but we can discuss Charlie Kirk. Okay?
Isn't that
when
a shame?
Right. When people say Turning Point USA has an anti-black agenda, I want to be clear. They're not using or saying overt racist words or slurs, or nor do they have exclusionary membership policies. That's not how they're working. But what they are doing is something more sophisticated and more dangerous. An agenda is being pushed that systematically undermines the tools, the narratives, the protections that Black communities rely on to achieve equity and political power. And they're erasing our history and preventing us from having an oral transition of passing it down in the context of our churches, of our schools, in our communities, even in our businesses that can be penalized should we take DEI measures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So historically, after the civil rights era, political movements learned that explicit racism lost them elections. So the strategy has shifted. And instead of saying Black people don't deserve X, Y, and Z, the language now has become you need to merit it. It needs to have neutrality. There needs to be colorblindness. People need to show personal responsibility. We're advocates for free speech and parental rights. That's how they're saying it. But what's really happening is that their movement is against policies, movements, history that addresses Black inequities.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I say one thing before I go?
Sure.
You're an attorney, right?
Yes, I am.
Well, look, I got a suit against this young man that you sitting on side behind some pork chops he's been promising me for a whole year. I know it's civil, but can I hire you to handle that litigation for me?
We have an anti-pork chop litigation policy at the office, but thank you for considering.
That's your turning point for today.
But don't bump. But thank you for considering.
Happy New Year, Gerard.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
But look, y'all, this is so important. This is just as important as when we were on here sounding the alarm for Project 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I really feel like people didn't really take it seriously.
They still didn't
when
take
we
it
were telling
seriously.
them how bad it was going to be. But now I need you all to understand that when kids are starting to be taught that hiring discrimination is okay, that pay gaps are okay, that disciplinary disparities are okay, when they're taught that maybe there should be fewer Blacks in professional pipelines and fewer protections against bias and fewer mechanisms to challenge racism, and they're indoctrinating that in young people, they are changing the future of America.
So you think about something that, and adding on to that, when you're saying changing the future of America, we need to really consider something. And I'm talking about every family that has a mama, auntie, cousin, sister, and I'm talking about women. You got to think about something in government. The majority of Black women have some type of job with government, post office, working for one of the folks that's in office, support staff, and then don't forget, it wasn't but 6 months, at least, we started saying we're going to fire, we're going to change government, we're going to do Doge. Well, the majority of the folks that were let go with a lot of these different offices, a lot of these different departments, was 300 and some thousand women.
Black women
that got fired.
And in the corporate America context, 600,000 Black women have been let go from their corporate jobs in America. 600,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that total is 900,000. Close to 1 million Black women have been disenfranchised of their employment since Trump took office. Okay? This is very serious. And I need y'all to understand that attacking how race is taught in high schools and in college is about controlling the narrative, about maintaining power, about fostering otherness. So education is not just about knowledge, it's about Who gets to define reality?
And for Caucasian women, I think what's happening to you all, which we really don't have that conversation in black communities, but I think that they're having it in theirs because they're finding out real quick, fast, and in a hurry, you're also up on the chopping block. Because the narrative that was set yesterday and day before yesterday for the female that got shot by an ICE agent was not, oh, we made a mistake. Oh, my God.
Stay in your lane.
It was, no.
Stay in your lane, too.
The narrative was set that she was a terrorist. She was a terrorist. She was trying to kill.
They're trying to make them
agent.
afraid of standing up for people who are minority.
But the folks that were not minorities are that are minorities because women are considered a minority as well. But they are learning that this is not greater than you.
Well, the project
that you're not greater than this.
Right.
I need to reverse that. And the minorities, especially our Latino friends, you all need to understand something too. While y'all are sitting there saying, I like him because, you need to understand something too. You're on the chopping block too. And y'all that voted for him are finding out quick, fast, and in a hurry that he was using you to get the votes. Now that he got the votes, he's trying to do everything in his power to clean you out.
I think they were sending a message with the shooting of that white woman in Minnesota. I think the message is stop advocating for these people. Stop advocating for them. That's not your business. That's not your lane. Just stop. Mm-hmm. And I think they're hoping that they're going to be fearful of reprisal and they're going to stop videotaping and they're going to stop questioning because right now they're the ones who are doing it, right? So they want them to stop. I mean, look, this is about fear mongering to a certain extent when it comes to shooting that woman in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. They want them to stay in their lane. But when Turning Point USA fights teaching systematic racism, teaching about redlining, teaching about mass incarceration, teaching about structural inequality, it's not just protecting children from discomfort like they're trying to say. It's protecting the existing power arrangements from scrutiny from anybody who might say that they give rise to inequality. So, Black Americans know this playbook well. If you can't deny the harm, deny the explanation. But all that being said, what I'm trying to figure out is why some Black people are still attracted to Turning Point USA. Because Turning Point USA does have some Black membership. And I'm trying to understand it. I was trying to understand why Black people were supporting Trump. I was trying to understand why Latino people were supporting Trump. And now I'm trying to understand why Black high school students and Black college students are joining Turning Point USA.
Because they don't really understand.
I have to believe they don't understand it. And that's why I wanted to educate people about what it was.
Because they don't think it's going to affect them.
It is definitely going to affect them, and it's going to affect us.
Because your white friends that in Turning Point that, come on, man, yeah, join. The minute they get to where they want to go, they're going to kick you to the curb.
Absolutely. Look, I think this is a dangerous movement. I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. I don't see a counter movement. I don't see another organization.
So where's the organization trying
to
go to all the HBCUs and talk to them about letting them, join an organization that's going to do something about it?
Right. I mean, we may need to think of some kind of organization to form. Mm-hmm. We've got to do something about this.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We got news coming up next, and we'll come back with the 5 o'clock hour. Everybody hold tight.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The White House says Minnesotans no longer back Governor Tim Walz. He's ending his re-election bid amid a Medicaid fraud scandal. Vice President J.D. Vance says Walz should resign.
Whether he was aware of the fraud, which would be criminal, or whether he simply looked the other way, it's a massive, massive failure of government.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt calls his decision to drop out a remarkable downfall. Florida School Board member Robert Alvaro is under fire for racially insensitive social media remarks about Black people, including support for a far-right figure. He's apologized, but leaders want him out and demand anti-racism training. Only the governor can remove him under state law. And R&B singer Ray J is hospitalized in Las Vegas with pneumonia and heart-related pain. Tests are underway, and he's prioritizing health after a busy schedule. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. 504-582-9422 is the number. It's Friday, so you know she's in the building. The attorney extraordinaire, Suzette Bagnaris. To my right, to your left, everybody that is looking. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you, Gerod?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing well.
You doing
I am
well?
doing well.
Yeah, we're not even going to be able to say that after a while.
No, we're not going to be able to say that.
So her last day is what, Monday?
Monday.
And then it changes over because they're going to do all the inauguration stuff now on Sunday because of the weather.
Correct.
You going?
Well, no, I don't have an invitation. My invitation must have been lost in the mail.
Mine too.
Yeah, my invitation was lost in the mail.
We didn't get an invite?
No, we did not get an invite.
Say, bro, call City Hall for me. 658. What is it, 658?
I don't know.
Oh, call Oliver.
Yeah, my invitation was lost in the mail.
Oliver's last day is Monday.
Yeah. OT will be stepping down from political life.
Yeah, they take over. They do the swearing in on Sunday. So his last day is today. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
I think I saw an interview where they were asking him what's life
next?
looks like for him, what's next for him. I think he's still going to be a good voice for the citizens of New Orleans. I don't think he's going to give up the fight. I just think he's going to do it as a citizen.
I don't know what I don't think that he's out, just down and out. I don't think that. I think that somebody's going to pick him up and do something. Or he's going to create something that's
maybe he'll create something. I look forward to seeing what the next chapter is going to bring for him.
You got him?
Or do you really think you're getting an invitation? You're not getting an invitation.
Yes, I am. I'm getting it.
I didn't know you were so delusional. I didn't know you were so delusional.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You don't think
I
I'd
thought
get
you
an
were more of a
invitation?
realist. No, I don't think you're going to get an invitation. I don't think your invitation was lost in the mail. I think it was purposeful.
You want me to call Helena?
She's not going to answer your call. She didn't come to talk when she was running.
I don't think that was because of me.
You are delusional. How long have you been so delusional?
I think that's because of the station and, all that stuff going on with Troy and stuff. Troy the owner of the station. So, of course, she's not going to come to the station where her, all that contract talk that was going on with.
So you think Troy's invitation was intentionally
Troy
not
got
given to
his
him,
invitation.
but your invitation was lost in the mail.
Mine, yes. Mm-hmm. Yours lost in the mail, too?
Do you think that Mr. Red Bottoms personally addressed your invitation? Who do you think personally addressed your
Probably
invitation?
tried to drop it off, but I wasn't here at the time.
I had no idea Gerard was so delusional.
You don't think that he
No, the only way you're going to the inauguration is if you have binoculars and you're across the street from where it's taking place.
It's at the Singer Theater.
Well, you're going to be standing across the street from the Singer Theater with binoculars watching the people coming in and out. That's the only way you're going
You're making
to the
him sound
inauguration.
like he's going to get arrested for something.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Binoculars?
It might be possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might be.
I don't think so.
Galloway.
Whoa, what's going on, Brother Gerard?
You the man, brother.
Oh, no, man. I'm happy that one of them rats and rouses on Royal Street right about now.
That's what I'm going with. I'm going to go with Galloway.
Galloway is
Go
not
where?
taking you with him.
Huh?
Go where?
I'm going with you to the inauguration.
Say what now?
I'm going with you to the inauguration.
Before I go to that inauguration, I'll buy a ticket to a Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans. Man, get out of here, man. Going to that stuff with that thing there, man. Tell her to go fix them rats in the French Quarter. That's what she needs to do, number one.
Yes, indeed.
But I'm so happy to be wrong today, Gerard.
You wrong.
I was so happy. I ain't never The last time I was this happy to be this wrong is when I told my wife I do. So that's been almost 30 years ago.
I hope your wife ain't listening when you said that, talking about the worst that you done wrong was to tell her that you do.
I do. That's 30 years ago. Coming up, January 18th is my anniversary, I believe. I got to ask her when she come in.
Yes, indeed.
But, they said the Lynn Chase School yesterday. I said they was going to shut it down, and I was wrong. Thank goodness they did not shut that school down.
They got a
I was happy to
donation.
see that.
They got a donation from a parent, right?
$2 million.
$2 million, yes.
Now,
I'm happy.
Now let me say something about this before you go on. My deal is to make sure, because I'm gonna call Edgar again, because I saw him last night on there too. I'm gonna call and find out from a couple of folks who this parent is, because they need to have, not just write them a check. They need to be able to say to the Orleans Parish School Board and everybody else that this is specified, dedicated funds to go to and be toward the keeping of that school. I don't want to hear in a year we can't find the money.
Right.
Exactly. I agree with you. I agree. And Miss Suzette, I'm so glad you brought up Turning Point. And I told people this about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Louisiana did theirs backwards. Steve Bannon put out, before Turning Point became Turning Point, Steve Bannon put out, take over your school boards. Louisiana went state, then local. Everywhere else went local and then to the state. What I'm talking about is black people, get involved in your school boards. Whether you run for office or get appointed there, or you got to go to the meetings. That's how this crazy CRT nonsense came about, which was never taught through K through 12. So now you ban CRT. Then you start banning books. Now you control the curriculum of these schools. Steve Bannon started that. Turning Point piggybacked on that stuff, and all they do is just sit there and talk about the negative aspects of black people. And like I tell Turning Point all the time, you cannot tell me how to live or what to do when over 70% of the people in prison for child molestation, rape, murder, kidnapping, all that stuff you can do to a child are white men. Fix your own community first. How do we counter Turning Point? Every city, every parish, every county in this state has a Divine Nine chapter. You can start organizations in your local high school. We all have one teacher that's part of a Divine Nine. You make up a fraternity letters, and you get these young black kids to join. Because if you don't, you're right, Miss Suzette, these kids are going to be programmed not to know about enslavement, Jim Crow.
Let me tell you something. I can see an America that is developing where D9s are going to be criminalized, where they are going to say that D9s have an anti-American agenda, where D9s are illegal because they're historically black and cater to one racial group over another. I can see a world coming where they're going to try to close HBCUs. They're going to say they're no longer necessary, that they too are built on a racist ideology.
But how can they say that about D9 when the majority of the D9 was founded on white campuses?
I'm telling you, I can see it coming based on the U.S. Supreme Court decisions that are coming out basically saying that you can't have an entity, you can't have a business, you can't have a school agenda that fosters one race over another, that teaches, about racial inequity. I really do believe that's the America that is being formed, where free speech about black history and that's what these D9s do. They talk about your black history. Mm-hmm. They teach their pledges about your black history. They host black history things on campus. They host things that cater to the black community on campus and in their communities. I do think they're headed to outlaw these type of organizations. And I'm very concerned about it. And I think they're going to have support for that if we don't start forming our own agenda to counteract what they're doing.
But the high schools are opening up divisions or chapters of D9 in high schools.
And that may be outlawed. Just like you can't teach about Black history anymore. And just like they're even changing the textbooks to not include anything about slavery. They may outlaw these types of organizations on high school campuses. And I think it's very interesting that Turning Point in its core mission statement does not talk about any race whatsoever. They just talk about founding values. So
and the founding values can be considered white. Listen, every D9, I think except Alpha Kappa Alpha, the females have a white member in it. So when they try to sit there and say that you discriminate against white people, whatever they want to be, you can point to every single white organization, fraternity and sorority that has one. I think Alpha Kappa Alpha may be the only one. But I know Miss Jane, one of the Freedom Riders, is a member of Delta Sigma Theta. Her son, these are white people, is a part of Omega Psi Phi.
All of the D9s have opened their membership up to people of other races. I understand that, but their mission statements are still based upon furthering, the education, the economics, the health, the welfare of the Black community. And in their mission statements, they talk about being formed by Black women, for Black women, informed by Black men, for Black men. So they still have these things in the tenets of their founding documents and in the tenets of their bylaws and constitutions. And because of that, don't think that these people aren't taking a look at that, particularly when you see the support that candidates are receiving from HBCUs for a non-conservative agenda. I think they see the D9s as a political threat. I think they saw that with Barack Obama. I think they saw that with Biden. They saw that with Kamala Harris. I think they see these HBCUs and these D9s as
I can say the same thing about the white fraternity, the two letters, the Kappa Alpha, the Kappa Sigma. I can say the same thing. If we let them dictate what we are and tell us what we are, then we have failed. And I know my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha, we ain't going for none of that stuff.
I agree. We're going to stand 10 toes down. We're going to fight, to the death on these principles. We feel very strongly about them. But I can see this agenda coming. If you look at where they're going with Project 2025, and then you look at the Supreme Court decisions that have come out, they are headed in that direction.
The Supreme Court, we all know when Mitch McConnell, when he sat there and denied Barack Obama the chance to put Merrick Garland in there, we knew the place from there. When folks sat at home, and I trust me, I had to drink an extra bottle of Hennessy to go vote for Hillary Clinton. But I knew what kind of nonsense was coming. The second time with Trump, I tried to tell people, what you think is going to happen is not going to happen. Remember, Trump said, I've done more for Black people than any other president except Abraham Lincoln. Now our Black unemployment is at 7.5%. But he's done more for Black people.
Right.
Black folks, wake up. You got hell. And listen, I got to get on that thing, Helena Moreno. Helena Moreno has been a snake in the grass. Remember in 2017 when she had that scholarship to give? Who did she give that scholarship to? Gregory Buston? Who was Gregory Buston's son? He was a delegate for the Republicans that voted for Trump. Think about that. This woman's a snake. I'm glad y'all have some faith in her. I have zero, zilch, none. She's cutting people to make her budget or whatever you want to call it. How you going to cut people, then the people that you hire, you're going to give them extra money? Make that make sense.
Yep.
Buckle up, New Orleans.
I think we're going to have to do a whole show on the national anti-HBCU and anti-Divine Nine agenda and what's really happening. Across the country, we're seeing a coordinated national shift that has disproportionate and damaging impact on HBCUs and the Divine Nine, not by openly attacking those Black institutions, but by weakening the ecosystems that allow them to thrive. By terminating 600,000 Black women out the workplace, you make it such that they can't financially support their D9 organization or financially support their HBCU. So historically, while HBCUs and the Divine Nine have done three critical things: produce Black leadership, preserve Black historical consciousness, and build collective power and networks, They recognize that, and I think they want to take those organizations down. So we really need to get in the mindset of what we're going to do to fight to preserve them.
Well, you know who attacks HBCUs the most? Black people that's never attend HBCUs. We got to start with our own first.
Well, that's
before
true.
We can get on. Before we get on that, you have black people. Oh, trust me. Every time I wear a Tougaloo shirt, most times people ask me, "Well, who from Tougaloo went to the NFL?" Tougaloo ain't never had a football team, dummy. But you know, it's stuff like that. That's just the small talk. They think that we haven't served the black community. We haven't did this for the black community. You go anywhere, just about in America, and the majority of your professional people have came from an HBCU. We may not like all of them. We may not agree with all of them, but they were trained and developed for leadership at an HBCU, which I think we don't get enough credit for. But I really do believe that you are onto something about how do we counter Turning Point USA. We got to get in there.
We got to counter it. And we also need to build strong support for our HBCUs and our Divine Nine organizations. I mean, look, if you really want to cripple Black America, you hit those organizations, those institutions at the knees. And I think that they realize that.
Definitely they realize it, because when we are united, when we want to get up and stand up and actually do something, we cannot be defeated. Whether it's politics, sports, or whatever it may be, war, fighting, it does not matter. So all I can tell my folks in Orleans Parish, buckle up. I don't trust that snake. Y'all have a good day.
All right, Galloway. Thank you, brother. Have a good weekend. All right, Noonday.
Hey, what's up, Gerod?
What's going on with you?
Man, how you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Oh, I'm blessed, man. You know, just want to give you an update on some stuff, you know, that's going on. You know, I put in a public request for the Inspector General to know why he has been deputized. And at the end of the day, Michelle Woodford didn't deputize him. Sean Ferguson didn't deputize him. But Ann Kirkpatrick then snuck and deputized him. So I wanted the public request to the letter. So I put the public request in, and now they're trying to hide, and they don't want to give the request up, right? So
he
they're
got
talking
deputized?
Huh? Yes, sir. From what I'm understanding, the Inspector General is deputized. So I wanted to make sure that he wasn't deputized, but now they are hiding the public request. They're trying to make it so hard.
So is he carrying a gun?
Yes, he's carrying a gun. He's carrying a gun in his deputies. And so I want to know why, if so, let's say allegedly, if so, are they post-certified? That's number one. Number two, why would the Inspector General need a gun when he can't even figure out who stole the money with the $222 million deficit? Not just that, why do the Inspector General need that when he couldn't find the cheating scandal out? But let's get to it, Gerard. I think she's deputizing because he didn't investigate the cheating scandal, because I got a little bird gave me a copy of the cheating scandal. It's one page. And in there, he wants everybody that made a complaint about the cheating scandal, he is tracing their IP address, because you did it anonymous, right? Mm-hmm. So now he's garnering those people IP addresses, and they're all upset because when you do anonymous, you're supposed to have what? Whistleblower protection or whatever. But at the end of the day, the Inspector General then did that. They're trying to hide the records and everything, just like they're trying to hide the court records. So that was one part of what I wanted to tell you. The second part is I want to tell you about this attorney that visited my house. And I done went to the bar on him. I done sent him a cease and desist. And I went to Silver Court to get a temporary restraining order because my mama is elderly. And he put, Gerard, the ring doorbell, he put his feet all on the chair. And this ain't the first time. He assaulted somebody way back. And they say he did it a couple of times. But I'm not playing with him, Gerard. He lucky I was gone. But so since then.
So he came to your house?
Yes. Justin, the attorney. He came to my house. He didn't have no papers to serve. He didn't have nothing. But I'm not no dummy. Remember, the letter was leaked. and it was left on my porch, so the letter made it to the news. So either the inspector general or somebody didn't hide him to come after me, but I'm ready for the challenge.
So you're talking about the same attorney that had a problem with Troy, and they got in an argument on air and cussed each other out. What's his name? Justin?
No.
I thought he was a real estate attorney.
Yeah, that's what he is. And not just that, that's the same attorney that sued the mayor for Ann Bro. But when I tell you about double standard, so if you're saying the mayor was wrong and had to pay him $25,000, and he said the mayor got his client address and did it, so you're doing the same thing. So what makes it any different?
So what did he come to your house for?
What did he come to your? Why did he come to your house? We're talking about Justin Schmidt. That's the attorney who sued Ann Bro, correct?
Yeah.
So, I know Back Neris was on here. Oh, that's good.
I'm on here. So Justin Schmidt is the attorney who represented Ann Bro against Mayor LaToya Cantrell.
Yeah.
So tell me, I'm not understanding why Justin came to your house.
This would happen. There was a letter leak about Gwen Nolan. Gerod did this a couple of times on his show. She was bullying and intimidating 7 black cops. So the cop did a complaint, and they was trying to hide it. So somebody put it on my porch. So it went to Facebook. Channel 6 News put it on there and said, look, the letter shouldn't have been leaked because it was an investigation. They wanted to know why the letter was out, right? That ain't none of my writing, so I really don't care.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, that now they didn't hire Justin the attorney, and that's why he came to my house. But he never said no client or nothing. I wasn't there, Back Neris. Thank God I wasn't. But the way he tried to talk to my mother and intimidate her and put his feet all on the chair, so he left his number. When I called him, I said, "What? First of all, aren't you a lawyer? So if you're a lawyer, you can serve me if you got anything or send me a letter." He said, "Let me tell you. You got that, and I work with the inspector general and others, and we are trying to take you down because you don't want to say who gave you the letter." So they implied that the monitor gave me the letter. The monitor never gave Stella. She never gave me the letter. The letter was left, but I had nothing to do with that. They got the Metro. They got all these people to investigate, and they said Belden Baptiste don't have nothing to do with it. It's a leaked document. So that's why he came to my house. So I went to court to get a temporary restraining order on Suzette, because you know me, you know Noonie a tough cookie, and he can go off. But while I was more upset, my mama is sick, man. My mama just beat cancer. My mama is going through some other stuff, and to intimidate my mama first, you should have never came to my house. So I went to file a temporary restraining order. So it went to the on-duty judge, Marissa. She denied it, right? She denied it, say he got to come more times. But they still, you know the bottom part, you know better than me, they're still hearing it on Tuesday, on the 13th, in Bernadette DeSosa court. Because it went to our court, but she sent it to the duty on judge, her court, but it's going back to our court. So today, guess what happened? One of my people down there, they in the custody case with the husband or whatever, they hear him talking about me. So the clerk with Bernadette DeSosa is advising Justin of all the stuff to do. I got the picture. The people took a picture of him. Now, those clerks ain't supposed to advise Justin of nothing. If we go into court, it should be fair. But they was telling them all kind of stuff to do, and my people listened and took a picture for me. So Bernadette DeSosa, now I'm not going to say the judge, her clerks didn't already made their decision because they was trying to help Justin with all kind of stuff today. And they didn't know the people were snapping a picture. I got the picture, G. I'm going to send it to you anyway. He's sitting in the clerk. I thought the law was they can't advise nobody.
They're not supposed to give legal advice. The clerks are not supposed to give legal advice. They can tell somebody whether their matter is on the docket, what time it's going to be heard,
that's right.
You know, general things like that. But they are not allowed to give any kinds of advice.
But they said there, Suzette, 20 minutes talking, and the person was there. The person that won't be, they took the picture, but they don't want to be because they got a case before her. So I can't put that person out, but they sat there 20 minutes helping him.
Yes, indeed.
Getting him advice and everything. I got the picture and everything.
When is the court? When is the case going to court?
It's Tuesday at 9:00. And then I done wrote the boss Suzette because I felt that even if they don't do nothing, he had no grounds to come to my house. If you want me, serve me. If you want me, call me on the phone. If you want me, send me a letter. But what are you coming to somebody's house to? And they say this is not his first time. They say he didn't did it to other people.
All right. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Keep us posted.
Oh, and I got one more question for you, Gerard.
Yeah.
Word on the street. Now, word on the street. I don't know, Gerard. They say you leaving WBOK for somewhere else. Is that true?
Thank you, Noonie. Have a good weekend.
Sure would be nice to be on that FM station.
Good to talk to you,
Back
boss.
there as I'm investigating this, I heard it from a little bird.
You should investigate that.
Goodbye,
you should investigate that.
All right. Thank y'all. All right.
What's coming up, y'all?
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by Lowe's.com. The arrow is pointing up for women's sports and is starting to attract the attention of investors looking to break into the sports world. Melody Hobson is co-CEO and president of black-owned Wall Street firm Ariel Investments and is part of a new venture there called Project Level. It's dedicated to investing in women's sports. On stage recently at a Bloomberg event, Hobson says she sees investing in women's sports similarly to how she sees investing in small-cap companies.
Smaller companies tend to grow faster. And we say the big guys, it's going to be harder to grow the way they've grown in the past. But the women have a big trajectory of growth in front of them. So this is where value meets growth.
The big guys she refers to are men's sports franchises. Hobson feels getting in on women's sports now could lead to big wins for investors down the road. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner. On the Black Business Beat.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Let me be perfectly clear. The now deposed president of Venezuela is a brutal thug, but the recent actions of President Trump regarding Venezuela are not policy differences. They are something far more serious and dangerous, an open challenge to the basic principles of international law and national sovereignty. My friend Lieutenant General Russell Honore said it bluntly, and he is right. Quote, "The notion that a foreign government can claim ownership of another country's resources is a violation of international law and sovereignty. Venezuela is a sovereign nation with the right to control its own resources and determine its own government. The idea that the United States can unilaterally decide to run the Venezuelan government is not only imperialistic, but a blatant disregard for the will of the Venezuelan people. That's not radical. That is Civics 101 on the world stage. But that apparently is of no concern to a President Trump who appears intoxicated by delusions of expansionism as he sets about attempting to coerce the entire Western Hemisphere via gunboat diplomacy. No nation, not ours, not any, has the moral or legal right to seize another country's resources
or dictate its leadership because it finds the outcome convenient and financially profitable. That is the language of empire, not democracy. And make no mistake, you can condemn corruption in Venezuela. You can mourn the suffering of its people and still reject the idea that the United States gets to take control of another sovereign nation. Those two ideas are not in conflict. They are at the very heart of international law. History has taught us this lesson again and again. When we try to run other people's countries, we do not bring freedom. We bring resentment, chaos, instability, and endless consequences for too many years. Note, Afghanistan was not a generation, neither was Vietnam. Sovereignty is not for sale. It is not leased. It is not transferred to the highest bidder or the strongest military. It belongs to the people of that nation and only them. Respect for that principle is not weakness. It is the foundation of global order. That world order that is now under threat from the Trump administration. This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Attention, WBOK listeners. Are you a fan of the station and want to show your support in style? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Introducing the official WBOK merchandise, the perfect way to wear your love for the station. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new fan, we've got something for everyone. Head to WBOK1230.com now and grab your WBOK gear before it's gone. When you buy WBOK merch, you're not just getting quality items, you're supporting the station you love.
Experience 2 nights of genre-blending music with the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation's Jazz and Heritage Concert Series, presented by Goldfarb Financial, happening at the George and Joyce Wynn Jazz and Heritage Center in New Orleans. See jazz vocalist Ingrid Lucia and the Good Troublemakers on Friday, January 16th at 8 p.m. Then, on Saturday, the 17th at 8 p.m., catch pianist-composer Lawrence Seabrist, Estrella Banda, with special guests Tommy Lowry and Bart Plateau. Expect a thrilling mix of jazz, classical, Afro-Cuban funk, and more. Tickets are $10 and available at jazzandheritage.org.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, right back at you. That's what we do. The attorney extraordinaire in the building. So we started off our conversation, Suzette, talking about the change in administrations.
Correct.
And yes, I do believe that there should be some change in the administration. As a matter of fact, I believe that a part of that should have been done by Susan. That she should have changed her administration.
Oh, I know. You've said that. And you expressed it to her. You're not saying anything here you didn't say to her.
No.
Look, I think that sometimes you need to change leadership when leadership has not been effective. However, we do have some people who have been in leadership here in New Orleans for quite a long time and have proven themselves to be effective and deserving of maintaining that position that they have held. So, just in terms of leadership and rebuilding after Katrina, Larry Barabino Jr. served as the director of NORD soon after Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans, when facilities had suffered approximately $63 million in damage and the staff was reduced dramatically. He managed the recovery and the restoration of the agency at a time that it urgently needed restoration. Under his leadership, following his 2018 appointment as the CEO, Nord reopened 90 playgrounds and play spots and 10 swimming pools across the city, a major expansion of access to safe, maintained recreational spaces. And Barabino has spearheaded 23 construction projects to upgrade and rebuild parks and recreation facilities, emphasizing both restoration and modernization. So, I understand there's some questions, some concern about some things that allude to the fact
that he may be one of those out.
And I just really do implore this new administration to think about it. Think about the message that sends when somebody has worked so hard to help rebuild this city and sacrificed for the city so long, and then you just, sweep them out like hurricane debris.
And he's one of those, I can tell you, because I've known him as not only a hard worker, but a personal friend.
Absolutely.
That has done yeoman's work.
He has. He has.
And
he's not the only one.
No.
So I hope when I said I hope they make quality decisions, I hope they make quality decisions and that there are some people that they keep in place because they have been effectively doing the job.
And I know that all the way through Ray Nagin's administration, Landrieu's administration, all the way through Cantrell's administration, this young man that I not only consider a hard worker, I can remember the days after Katrina interviewing Larry about what we're doing and hearing him say, man, I got to get somebody to sponsor and help me put together these gymnasiums, and getting those folks to put wood floors back in place after Hurricane Katrina to open up gymnasiums. I can remember the days that he was, talking about some, we are getting compared to BRCC, Breck, in Baton Rouge, but we have the brick money. We see the amount of money we put into these type of facilities compared to what was put before. And then don't forget the lie. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Hold on. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But I will say it was told to us that we were going to have all these corporate businesses that were going to come in if we change the Nord facilities over to Nord C. Remember that? And we all voted for it because we were going to be thinking that a whole bunch of money was coming into the city of New Orleans to sponsor these different facilities, and I just don't see it. I haven't seen it. But I do know one thing. Larry Barabino not only maintained them, but made sure that we had the facilities in tip-top condition, even when we didn't even have the
people to go to them.
The people to maintain them, like the lifeguards at the pools. He knew how to stagger putting those people in place to open up those pools, and you didn't hear not one person get into a trouble where somebody drowned.
And he cares about the youth.
Yep.
He goes the extra 9 yards, for the youth. So I really do hope that when you're coming in next week, that you sit down and you make quality decisions based upon performance.
Yeah. So I wrote a commentary that I'm gonna put in place here real quick because it looks like it's long, but I just had to make it big because I can't see.
Do your thing.
There we go. All right. Transition of a staff at City Hall in its final day. Exit interviews are being conducted and individuals are being given their pink slips. Any elected official has the right to choose the person or persons that he or she wants on their team. Should they change people that work in departments or leadership roles from one administration to another? I think they should. You never know who they are loyal to. The old administration that could have spies and create chaos, or a new administration that can be corrupted by the old way of thinking. Nevertheless, I write this commentary today to say sometimes you have to look at the person and the person's work. A person like Tara Johnson Brown, who has been in charge of housing for over 25 years, and you not only want to remove her from the position, but you want her to stay on and train the new person you are replacing her with for less money. In other words, you want the boss to be training her replacement when you fire me. No, I don't think so. I can also remember the state of recreational department and the young man who placed in that position when Hurricane Katrina destroyed just about every playground, gymnasium, and recreational facility. This young man took all of his contacts, experience, and relationships to build back these facilities when this city had nothing. For 16 plus years, Larry Barabino is known for his work with corporate sponsors to help rebuild gymnasiums, create programs for youth, and we live below sea level. I can remember joining hands with the Red Cross through NORD to have seniors learning how to swim. It is easy to be torn when making decisions on who will lead, but I hope this new administration is not making life-changing decisions with leadership in these departments due to personal like, or should we say dislike, or are you letting others lead the way when we use their style of government like deputy mayors? In a time when this city has one of the biggest deficits we've ever seen, how did it look when we decided to tell people that they were going to get furloughed or let go, and then the next breath you announce your deputy mayor is making $200,000+ and even $300,000? This city has a real stank belief about black people who make $200,000 or more. Believe me, they will end up under investigation or criticized for their income. But crickets when someone else gets that type of salary with no performance. Will it change?
We look to next week.
We'll know.
We look to next week.
All right, Don.
Hey, Gerard.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Ms. Bagneris. You know, when you mentioned about Mr. Barabino, first thing I thought about was, a few years ago when he had all these extra pools that were opening, and he needed lifeguards and was willing to, train young black people in a lot of cases in those positions. And as you said, this guy's been a big help for the NORD situation since he started, after Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
I still get texts or emails every so often from the recreation department mentioning about the things that they have, upcoming, especially out here in the East, with us being close to the park. But I had a question. One of the things you were talking about earlier is that, our new administration will have to take over from what happened, previously. And, one of the things I thought about is when Mitchell Andrew, got out of office, he had hired this police chief, and they were talking about how many officers had left the force before she came into office. And I think that had a lot to do with the crime situation, after she got into office. And of course, with the pandemic, happening, in 2021, it really escalated things. And, she just made a lot of mistakes, I think, with the garbage thing and all these different things that happened afterwards. And, they're going to look at her in a different light because, as Ms. Bagneris mentioned, she was a black woman. And they seem to find everything that happened to be paramount compared to when the last administration, Mitchell Andrew was in office. He got criticized a little bit, but not nearly as much as she has.
Wow.
But
I will tell you this, Don, but you got to remember, too, that I remember when those police officers were walking out the door, that wasn't because of Cantrell. That was because Mitchell Andrew got on national television and told the whole world that the NOPD was the worst police department in the country and we needed to be under consent decree.
Right, and he was the one that...
now, you got to remember, you had all of these men and women that were in that water saving folks.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to say that this is the worst police department in the whole world.
Yep.
And we need to be under consent decree. Now, I'm not saying that we had some bad stuff to happen, because we did. But everybody don't fit that MO.
Absolutely not. And as you look back, you have a lot of people have a questioning thing about Mitchell Andrew, why he wasn't, have the eyes be looking at him and a lot of the things that he did while he was in office.
Yeah.
But it just seems as though when black people are in office, they find themselves in positions to say, we need to investigate this, that, and the other thing. And I think it's completely unfair. And as Ms. McNair has mentioned, we're going to see what happens with this new administration. Because right now, we're in limbo trying to figure out exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But look, I'll hang up and listen to your comments. Thank
All right, Don. All right, we'll take another break here. More coming up.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris.
The deadly incident that took place in Minnesota yesterday occurred as a result of a larger, sinister left-wing movement that has spread across our country, where our brave men and women of federal law enforcement are under organized attack.
What you see is what you get in this case. You have a woman who is trying to obstruct a legitimate law enforcement operation. Nobody debates that. You have a woman who aimed her car at a law enforcement officer and pressed on the accelerator. Nobody debates that. I can believe that her death is a tragedy, while also recognizing that it's a tragedy of her own making.
The White House is facing blowback after Vice President J.D. Vance and White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt suggested a Minneapolis woman killed during an ICE operation was responsible for her own death, and he aimed much of his anger at the media. The administration's version of the events that took place is being challenged, and video analysis of the deadly shooting does not line up with the administration's story. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars, because the real ones always stay informed.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
WBOK.
Better pay attention.
Powered by Cox Business. Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back.
Now he's laughing. He can't get serious.
I
He
kept
was
just
very
thinking-
serious. And
So
then all
I'm
of a
just thinking
sudden,
about what you just said, and it just resonated. I'm like,
you got a flashback.
I
is
know
what
that's what happened. I was
Yes,
thinking-
indeed. Got a flashback.
So overall, out of this conversation, our conversation, the Black Negro conversation, the Negro conversation,
The Negro conversation
we have a Negro
that we were having
conversation
today. Mhm.
We'll see.
Look, I really do pray that the administration comes in and they pick the best people for the best positions. They get a handle on the budget, and they do the right thing by the citizens of New Orleans. I think we deserve that.
I met, I think Ms. Gibson, the attorney. I met her yesterday.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, I was standing outside of my car yesterday at the administrative building at OPSO. And she was pulling in, driving, having a meeting, getting ready to go into a meeting, and got out of her car and looked and said, "Mr. Stevens." And I looked up, I was like, "Yes, she's beautiful." And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "Hey, I'm the new city attorney and glad to meet you and da-da-da. I already know who you are and blah, 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 blah." I was like, "Oh, does that mean y'all have a file open over there?"
They probably do. That's probably where your invitation to the inauguration is, in the file.
Yeah. I should have asked her.
It's probably in the file.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I should have asked. I had the opportunity right there. Do you have, would you by any chance
You'll be
have?
attending on your couch at your house because the
It's gonna be
inauguration will be televised.
And so it is Sunday. A lot of stuff is happening Sunday. Not going to happen Saturday.
Right.
Because of the weather. And speaking of that, before we get off, everybody needs to pay attention to this weather this weekend because it's severe weather. And we are in that clone. We are in that cycle of severe weather. And they say it's going to get bad sometime tonight.
Okay.
And will be bad on tomorrow. So let's just pay attention. I think it's late late night tonight and sometime tomorrow. So we need to pay attention. Don't get caught up in these things because already they done had. I think it was Oklahoma or some place that already had several tornadoes, really big tornadoes, and some folks got hurt. So, all right. So I go back to you now. You have something that too. Can you give the update on the building falling?
Sure. So, as many of you know, I am on the settlement committee for the Hard Rock case, and I'm happy to report we are making great progress in terms of reaching a fair and equitable settlement on behalf of the men and ladies who were trapped in the building as it collapsed and escaped. Almost had a very near-death experience, all of them. So we're making progress. We've knocked down 2 of the major defendants. We're reaching deals with several of the mid-layer subcontractors at this time, and we're really making good progress.
You wouldn't think that it would take this long.
Let me tell you, this, I think, is the most complicated mass tort case that I have ever negotiated settlement on because of the contractual relationship between the owner, the subcontractors, the different layers of insurance, trying to figure out who was working on what floor and who supplied what work on what floor was very, very difficult, and it needed to be done. That work needed to be done. So we're making progress. I thank the men and women who are in that case for their patience, for their understanding. I thank you all for continued prayers as we try to find a resolution for them.
How close you think?
It's going to get done this year. When this year? I don't know when we're going to complete this task, but I think I'm very optimistic it'll be gone before the end of the year.
And what about the Commodores, Kennedy?
Oh my God! So my Kennedy kids are still on hold.
No.
Yeah, the Louisiana Supreme Court. We won at the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeal on class certification, and we're at the Louisiana Supreme Court. We're waiting on the Louisiana Supreme Court to rule on the class certification decision. As soon as we get that ruling, we're going to rock and roll and get prepared for trial. But, I just feel for them. They really should not be going through this. Every witness who took the stand admitted they wronged these kids. So, it's just very disheartening that we're having to continue to fight a battle where there is no legitimate defense.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was just going to be, I thought you were going to tell me that it was, done.
No, we have a road ahead of us. But, I'm very hopeful that as soon as the Supreme Court rules, we'll be able to get, in the courtroom for them again.
All right. That's about that then. What you doing the weekend?
This weekend, I have a Young Men Illinois First Maids party on Sunday. It is carnival time. Mardi Gras is kicking off. I'm sure, the Zulu events are going to start kicking off. It's, it's the sprint now. We've had King's Day. Now it's time to get to Mardi Gras. So I'll be very busy from now until Mardi Gras with Young Men Illinois and Zulu events.
So the reign of Mr. Big Stuff changes. Big Shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of the song. It changes this year.
Yes. So we are the outgoing Untouchable Big Shot 2025 and Lady Shot 2025. And the 2026 Big Shot is Mr. Troy Jackson. His Lady Shot is Miss Kathy Jackson. Their Big Shot crew ball is coming up on January 30th at Xavier University. And we look forward to seeing him take the reins and be the Big Shot. Reign as the Big Shot.
That's amazing that went through a whole year cycle already.
Oh, let me tell you, it's a 2-year commitment. You run for a year, you serve for a year. It's a 2-year commitment. So we really enjoyed that time, and we're really grateful to Zulu for giving us that opportunity. It was a great experience.
Y'all riding this year?
We're not riding this year. Emil is a tramp. He loves being on the ground. So he's going to be serving as a tramp, and I'm going to be watching it from my balcony on Jackson Avenue at the law office.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
And, one year I was outside, like right in front of Gallia Hall, standing on the ground, and I saw one of the tramps, and he made his way and come over to me. I had no idea that was Emil because his face was painted.
Right.
And he said, Emil. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I knew who it was.
He really enjoyed
He had
being
he had a good time.
He had a good time. So he's looking forward to it.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for us. I appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation. Always good with you. Always good with you. The magnificent one, y'all, Suzette Bagnaris.
I enjoy being here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Law office number?
It's 504-810-3995.
There we go. There we go. New stuff coming too, y'all. Get ready. New stuff coming. That's all I can say.
Oh, new stuff coming.
New stuff coming. All right, y'all. Don't forget, be a part. We'll see you later. And y'all have a safe weekend.